Well, right here, the things you need to know about your weather to get you through this weekend. Thanks so much for watching the Weather Network. It's Saturday, August the 29th, and I'm Rachel Schoutsen. This is a look at the radar right now. So where we do see some of the rainfall, of course, in through BC, very gusty conditions as well. I'll talk about the wind warnings in a second. We do have some showers moving throughout southern Manitoba and then into Ontario. A very hit and miss kind of day. We're talking about some rain north of the GTA, over to the Huron shores, and then out in the Atlantic. Oh boy, a beautiful day. I'm thinking Halifax and Fredericton, you probably have the best forecast for the last weekend of August. Now, let me show you this evening here in terms of the humidex. We're really not feeling that throughout the GTA, but this is really going to start to become a story as we get into next week. At Celebration Square, all food trucks. That is my kind of event. So, hey, if you're looking for some plans this evening, you can do that at Celebration Square, close to Square One in Mississauga. Now, this is a look here at the thunderstorm potential today. We see that throughout northeastern Ontario, stretching into Quebec. Just a little bit of instability here in terms of seeing some rainfall, though. Likely to see that down to the south. Again, just very spotty showers as we head throughout. Basically, Saturday clearing out here through Sunday. As we look at Sunday afternoon, the humidity starting to build. 26 in Barrie, feeling like 32. Same thing goes for the city of Toronto. Winds are feeling like 33. And we are looking at a very hot first week of September. Stick around for the long ranger and we'll talk more about, well, how high those temperatures are going to go. Now, as we focus in Ontario here, this area of low pressure continues to spin, bringing in the spotty rain showers. It's really not organized rain, very hit and miss. I know Mississauga saw some very light rain showers this morning. Same thing in through Newmarket. High pressure is going to be a little more stable as we look at Sunday and then even into Monday as well. So let me shift you a little further east. We'll get you into the Atlantic. Overall, a stunning weekend. A little bit of humidity, but overall, it's not a big story here. And then across the prairies, we're looking at some fairly nice conditions. A few spotty showers, but other than that, 25 in Regina looks pretty good. Now, this is what we were dealing with Friday in Winnipeg. Look at that lightning crawling across the sky. And, wow, look at that. Wow. And air quality advisories, they now stretch all the way in towards Dauphin and Brandon, Manitoba. So this here is a huge story. The winds are going to start to pick up in through BC as we get through this afternoon. We've already seen some gusts over 70 kilometers an hour. And throughout the show, we'll talk more about the rainfall warnings. It's the weekend, last full weekend of August. I know a lot of people are thinking, what are we going to make for lunches? Got to get the kids back to school. Yeah, it's going to be a busy week next week. So let us talk about your weather story for this weekend. Hopefully it will be good to, well, run some errands. Now we're going to start off in BC here as we look at some of the cloud tops. Big area of low pressure. Basically, bands of moisture continue to move in along the BC coast. And actually, very interesting here, we're getting a lot of tropical moisture circulating around this area of high pressure. And as that circulates around, essentially, it's feeding it right where we need it, up and down the coast of BC. And this is, well, where we've seen such little rainfall. So we're really changing the pattern here. Basically, what this map is telling you is that over the past 4 months, well, we've seen less than 50 millimeters of rain. And into the next 4 days, we're likely to exceed that. So a huge pattern change is coming. And you can see here, it really is a big coastal story in terms of the soaking of rain and the winds as well. Wind warnings are in place. You can see the rainfall warnings here. This is the potential to see about 100 millimeters of rain in these regions. And then also some special weather statements. We had those in terms of, well, the potential mudslides and flash flooding because the ground is just ever so dry. And the wind warnings as well. We could see, well, gusts here close to 80, 90 kilometers an hour. Now, the potential for thunderstorms is there. If we do see them, they should be very weak in nature. Now, let me take you into Surrey. Look at this, a beautiful sky. Now, another big story out west, of course, it's the rain, but it's also the air quality. Look at this here. Air quality advisories, they stretch from the BC coast through Alberta all the way now towards Brandon and Dauphin, Manitoba. This morning, very low visibility throughout southern Saskatchewan. So the smoke, again, a big story. We are starting to see some stronger winds coming in through Alberta, and that's going to help the situation. But still, we're likely going to be talking about this over the next few days for sure. Now, as we look at Sunday here, overall, beautiful day in Calgary. Same thing goes into Edmonton as well. Slight chance of seeing a thunderstorm, but for the most part, it is going to be a dry weekend. Sunday as well across the prairies, looking very nice. We don't really have a thunderstorm risk. We could just see a few very stray, isolated spotty showers. And then into Ontario, well, the south has been seeing some rain. Again, same situation, very isolated and spotty. Towards the northeast, this is where we could have the potential of thunderstorms. And then into next week, well, the humidex already starts to grow on Sunday. And then next week, oh boy, things are going to be hot. And we'll talk more about that coming up in the Long Ranger with Chris St. Clair. And we're back. Thanks for keeping it here with us at the Weather Network. It is Saturday. It's August the 29th. I'm Rachel Schoutsen. Let's take a look at the cloud tops right now. You can see this area of low pressure into southern Ontario. That's bringing in some very spotty rainfall right now. And then into the Atlantic. It is a beautiful weekend. I think Fredericton and Halifax, you probably have the best forecast out of anyone across the country. Beautiful sunshine, blue skies. Now, I want to take you to where the skies are actually quite different. They are gray and rainy out along the coast, and this is something that we certainly need. We're seeing tropical moisture circulating around this area of high pressure, bringing in waves of rain. Now, Vancouver, you've already seen your heaviest rain this morning. Things will taper off into the afternoon in terms of the rainfall, but really pick up in terms of some of the winds. We could see wind gusts close to 100 kilometers an hour here. So this is going to be another big story. And then into tomorrow, another round of rain. So it's a very unsettled forecast. And this is a huge pattern change. May, June, July, August. Look how low your rainfall totals are. Look at June's rainfall total at 11 millimeters. You saw 11 millimeters just last night. So over the next few days here, we are really going to be kicking up some of those rainfall totals, replenishing the reservoirs, which is certainly what we need. And you can see this here. This story continues in terms of the rain right into Monday, and it really is a big coastal story. So some very good news, but the potential for too much rain is certainly there. The ground is so dry that it's not able to absorb the rain as nicely as it should. So rainfall warnings are in place. We did have some special weather statements as well for the potential of seeing flash flooding and landslides. Now, the thunderstorm risk is what really could kick this up, because when we do see some thunderstorms, such heavy downpours in such a short amount of time. But today, the thunderstorm risk is very low. We have been seeing some storms, but they have been offshore. Now, let me take you into Banff. Look at this. Beautiful scenes here in Banff on Friday, but the smoke has certainly been a huge issue for many people across BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and today into Manitoba as well. Look how widespread these air quality advisories are, and that's all because of the forest fires burning in Washington state. Now let's take a look ahead here into Sunday. You can still see the rainfall coming into play for Vancouver. Beautiful day out in Calgary and Medicine Hat. As we look further east across the prairies, Regina at 25, you could see some very spotty showers. Winnipeg, whew, that's hot. 31 degrees to end off the month of August. We do have a slight thunderstorm risk. That's going to linger throughout northeastern Ontario, and we're also really getting into the heat next week. Now stay with us here, because we have everything you need to know about hurricanes just ahead. Calm. All right, now we'll take you into your forecast for the Greater Toronto area. We have been seeing those passing showers. I know you're probably thinking, I haven't seen any rain. Very isolated and spotty. So some people just north of the GTA, let's say Newmarket, you've seen some of the rain move through, especially off to the west as well, close to the Huron shores. City of Toronto, just a few light sprinkles of rain. It's not really a big story, but in terms of seeing those overcast skies, maybe not a perfect day to go for a swim, but overall, it's still a nice weekend, right? The last full weekend of August. And have you heard how warm it's getting into next week? Yeah, we'll have those details as well. This is what it looks like throughout the overnight. Overall, pretty comfortable. 17 degrees for the city of Toronto, similar to what we saw last night. And then into Sunday morning, look at this, 18 degrees for the morning. Into the afternoon, we'll be jumping up to about 22 to 24 degrees. So that's a little warmer than what we have been seeing. And then Sunday, look at this, 26 for the daytime high, feeling like 32. So the humidity starts to creep back in. Okay, right now I want to show you the most thrilling video we've seen here at the Weather Network. Look at this little guy here. Chasing a remote bird. How cool is that? Just thought you would like to see that, especially on a Saturday afternoon. Cute video, right? Okay. Now, this is what Monday's looking like when we talk about that humidity building. 28, feeling like 35. Summer is back. I know. Last week was below seasonal. Now we're really getting into some of that warmer weather. So these spotty showers will dissipate, but overcast skies, will still see them tomorrow. Your Long Rangers next. Go. Okay, it's here, the last full weekend of August, Monday, the last day of the month, and then, well, we're getting into September, so I know there's a lot of planning that's going on right now. What are we making for lunches? And all the back-to-school shopping, too. Or maybe that started back in July, right? We've got all of your weekend weather right here at the Weather Network, so thank you so much for tuning in. We are seeing some rain showers moving through southern Ontario. This is going to be a story throughout the day today. Very hit-and-miss showers. Now, a lot of people have been thinking, well, we're into fall. right? We felt the below seasonal temperatures last week, lots of overcast conditions. People have been tweeting me pictures of the trees changing colors. I have to say, my favorite thing about the fall is kind of nights like these, where it's not too cool, 17 degrees for the city of Toronto, but you can wear a sweater, you can wear a scarf. Well, here's some things that you had to say, your favorite part of the season. I have to say, last fall is my favorite season, by the way. And last fall, my mom and I, we did a driving trip. We went all the way through Quebec into New Brunswick, out to Charlottetown, and the colors are just spectacular. The problem is with fall is what comes afterwards. Yeah, the winter and the -20s. But today and Sunday, well, we're still looking at summer here and especially into next week. Next week is awesome. If you want the Humidex, it's coming back. Feeling like 35 some days for the GTA. So Sunday morning, we're looking like this. We'll see some sunny breaks, but overall, the cloudy conditions will still be there. And as we look at Sunday and the Humidex, look, feeling like 32 as we move forward into Monday, feeling like 35. This is almost like the beginning of August, right? Even though this will really be the beginning of September here. So as we look at some of those spotty showers, those will continue to move throughout the day. We'll start to see a clearing throughout the overnight and then in through Sunday. Again, cloudy skies, but we will see those sunny breaks. So the forecast is looking pretty nice here into this evening to be out and about. Bring the umbrella. You may need it. And then I want to show you the trend here, the getting back into summer trend. Look at this. 27 degrees. This is actually 3 to 4 degrees above seasonal. So we are certainly looking at a wonderful forecast as we start off September. Stay with us here. Hurricane facts are next of August. And have you heard how warm it's getting into next week? Yeah, we'll have those details as well. How cool is that? Just thought you would like to see that, especially on a Saturday afternoon. Cute video, right? Okay. Now, this is what Monday's looking like when we talk about that humidity building.